In today's interview, I talk with one of my students and her husband who are now doing couples UGC together. This conversation was so great and so insightful. Just hearing their perspective as a couple doing UGC together and also Michelle doing her own thing. I think you're going to love this conversation. They have worked with brands like Dr. Squatch. They've even funded a European vacation. You'll hear about that in this interview. These two are thriving and so supportive of each other. I just so enjoyed this conversation, and I know you will too, whether you're new at UGC, whether you have been doing it a while, or even just thinking about getting started. You're going to love this conversation. And thank you again, Michele and Gary, for being willing to sit down with me and chat all things UGC and hear more of your story. Enjoy. Michele and Gary, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to you guys. How are you?
Right?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, for sure. I was just prepping him and I was like, it's super low key, just talking like you're talking with a friend.
Oh yeah, exactly. Very chill, just a conversation. I just want to hear more about your guys' story and I mean, you've probably seen some of the other student interviews and
Mhm.
everything. So yeah, it's just totally a conversation. I'm just so like happy for you. First of all, you guys are crushing it. I wanted to jump right in if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah.
And just like start at the beginning. I was
Hmm.
just looking at Michele, your posts inside the Facebook group and like when you started posting, like when you joined and everything. So take me back if you remember to kind of like the beginning, how you heard about UGC, like how you got started.
Okay. Um, well, I was actually doing Amazon reviews. And, like I found Facebook groups that were doing the whole gifted collab stuff, and I was like, cool, free stuff. And I thought it was fantastic. And then I came across on TikTok another influencer that did UGC. And then that's when I was like, oh, wait, I can get paid for doing these little videos and these interviews. And I was like, oh, or the reviews. I was like, oh, okay. So I got her like little freebie and she was like all about Fiverr. So I was like, okay, that kind of got me rolling a little bit. And then I came across you and I was like, oh, this girl's my vibe.
I love
I was
it.
like, the other one, she's like, aesthetic and, like, I mean, I'm not saying that you're not, but I
I'm
mean,
not really.
I'm like, I needed someone that was super authentic and was just like, this is me, take it or leave it kind of personality. And that's how I am. And so I immediately like clicked with you and then got your freebie. And then it was like, no brainer, I'm joining the course. So that's how I came across you, and really how I got into UGC. It was just kind of like I was already doing things for free stuff, thinking it was rad, and then I was like, "Oh, money.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
cool."
Yeah.
Um, I had a little bit of like an online presence. I had been a virtual assistant and a social media manager. And so I kind of and none of those things didn't really like click with me. But in hindsight now, I'm like, okay, I needed to know a lot of those skills to do what I'm doing now.
Yes.
And everything happens for a reason. And so I started in on the apps. My first apps were Incense and Stack Influence.
Okay.
And Stack Influence is a gifted collab situation, which I thought, okay, that's cool. I get stuff for my portfolio and I get practice and kind of work on these new skills that I'm learning. And the pressure's not on, like, I've got to really show up because they're paying me money kind of
Yeah.
thing. And Fiverr. And so my first gigs came from Incense and Fiverr. And I was off and running. So I want to say it was August of last year. My first gig really came the end of September. And by December, I had hit my first like big month. I made $2,300 in December. And I
Amazing.
was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this is the real deal. Um, but as many of us UGCers know, you go through the holiday, and then January, February, March hit, and there's usually the post-holiday like kind of crash.
Hmm.
And we had like 3 months where it was like just nothing.
Hmm.
Um, so that's when you start reaching out to other platforms and just kind of like throwing your net wider. And I started going on X. And that's where we actually got our first couples gig. So I just been doing my own solo thing.
Yeah.
And we got hit up for this pheromone perfume.
Okay, yeah, I've seen so many of those like videos. A lot of people have done those, I think. How did that go?
So I brought Gary on board. I'm like, hey, would you be down? And he's like, okay, sure. We get the scripts.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, bro. Like, I am not
A
doing
little
this.
too crazy.
Yeah, it was like he's like, no one would ever say anything like this. Like,
Yeah.
what was your favorite
I'm
line?
not even repeating it. It's
The line was like, "What is that scent? It's making me hard." He's like, "No one would
Oh my
ever say
gosh.
that."
They really put that in the script.
yeah,
No,
oh yeah.
you would be surprised at some of the things.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, no, it's gotten a lot worse, but it's like, money's money.
Yeah. Yeah.
$20 is $20.
No, no, we get paid better. But yeah, but I was like, eventually, I was like, listen,
Yeah.
we're getting paid $150 for this video. It's like 20 seconds. You're saying the freaking line. And we've ended up making, I think, like 16 videos for their brand now.
Oh, cool.
So that's one of our big repeat clients. They almost come back every month and just hit us
Amazing.
up. And yeah, so as far as couples go, and I've mentioned this in the group too, like you definitely have to be prepared for this, you know,
Outrageous.
like the
Yeah.
sexy time gigs,
Mm-hmm.
because that it's almost like we've been able to venture like out of that, but most of our gigs have to do with libido type
Mm-hmm.
things. Yeah, gummies, perfumes. I mean, so
Honey.
honey, the
Honey,
boner
okay.
honey, lots of boner
Yeah, dick
honey.
honey. It's
That is so funny.
We've got dick honey everywhere. We've got teenage boys, and we're like, if you need a practical joke, we've got plenty to share.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
But we've been able to venture into like we've done t-shirt brands. We did the one I posted about we've done like travel
Yeah.
brands now. So we're kind of getting into like the more like legit couples work.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No,
Yeah.
I love that. And I mean, you just kind of jumped right in, and there's so many things to unpack there. So Michelle, you started just you like yourself, like not really planning to, Gary to come in and help you out.
Yeah.
So, so the first couples gig, so how is it kind of transition? Because I was looking, you have your own portfolio, and
Hmm.
then you guys have a couples UGC portfolio. First
Hmm.
of all, how has it been, Gary, for you? I'd like to hear from you if you're cool with it. To just like were you doing any kind of like were you comfortable on camera? Like how'd it go? How was your feelings about it?
so it was I'm always full of unhinged side quests.
Okay.
So like when Michelle came to me and was like, "Hey, I need you to be on board with this." I was like, "Okay, well, fair." Because like I'm always like, "Hey, if we do this, then we can do this and blah blah blah." Like,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, and like I saw that this was something that she was like super passionate about and really enjoying doing. So of course, like I'm gonna support my wife on, ow, stop it. I'm gonna support her on her ideas because Lord knows she supports me on my wild harebrained ideas. So she was like, hey, like we're gonna do this, and I was like, okay, cool, like what's the script? And then she was like, you got to say that my smell makes you. I was like, Okay, well, can we, I don't know, like edit that at all?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
No,
maybe
Any
not
adjustments
say
there?
that,
no.
but
Yeah.
like I don't know, it's just fun. Like like it's it's you don't take it too seriously because then it becomes like stressful because you're doing like this ridiculous thing like sit in your car and pretend you're driving somewhere and that you're it's just
Random stuff.
So,
it's super random,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
you can't like be too serious about it, like, but at the same time like it's it's fun, it's still a job, like,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah, I think that's like what everyone has to, that hurdle of like, don't take it too serious,
Hmm.
at like, and I was thinking, earlier, it's like if I had like one thing to say, like really embrace your authenticity and like run with it. Like I think we all have that like, oh, I got to be so aesthetic like this person, or oh, this is so be, oh, I love this. This is what I got to do. But if it's not you, it's not you. And
Yeah.
brands aren't hiring you to be like everyone else. They're hiring you to be you. So, yeah, I mean, it's a learning curve. Like it was hard in the beginning when Gary first came on because he had to like learn how to be like UGC, like play. So many times I was like, can you just like pretend like you're attracted to me? Like, can you just try to look like you're a little bit like my husband? But yeah, it's having fun with it and, practicing the scripts. Like we find like we're really like the first few times we go through script, and then by like the third or fourth we're like totally chill and like our personalities can come out.
Yeah, yeah, that totally makes sense. I was gonna ask you about kind of the dynamics, and now that do you know how many like couples UGC deals you've done? I mean, you've done like 16 for that one brand, but
Yeah.
is it mostly couples are you doing, or is it a mix of you, Michelle, or Gary, have you done your own? How
no,
does
I
it
haven't
work?
done any of my own.
Okay.
It's probably at this point we're probably like two-thirds couples and then just my own UGC. So there's definitely a pocket for couples. And talking about these kind of taboo topics seems to be the thing. Like, who wants to? We actually turned down an audition in the very beginning when Gary first came on, and it was for hymns, and it
Oh
was
yeah.
it was for ED,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh, that's kind of a big brand, and that was a lot to take in because we had just started, and we're like, oh my God, what if friends see it? And he's
Yes.
ah. But now we'd be like, $700, yeah, done. You
Yeah. Yeah.
know?
Yeah. You've gotten more comfortable with everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I think there's a lot of brands out there that are not just looking for like the taboo couple stuff, but a lot of like gift giving, the lifestyle stuff. We've done a lot of lifestyle couple stuff. Just two actors wanting a male and female actor. We've done like street interviews with each other, and you know, and our son, here's $30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done all kinds. So,
Cool.
and I was just telling Gary, I've noticed there's been like more couples coming into the group, which
Yeah.
is really rad.
Yes. Yes. And I think even when I started, like I didn't even think about that really. Like, I mean, like my wife has done some stuff with me and the kids and stuff, but it makes sense. It makes total sense. Like I love the travel one you guys did together because
Mhm,
that could be relevant for almost any couple who wants to do a
mhm,
little more adventures and everything. So
mhm.
how did that one come about? Did you pitch that company? Did they see you? How did you get that one?
I know. I'm like, how did I get that one? It was X.
Okay, cool.
It was just pitching,
Hmm.
shout outs on X. And he reached out to me, and it was an absolute pleasure to work with. And actually, I think that's been like our biggest couples gig so far,
Cool.
that one, as far as payment goes and stuff. But
Mhm.
Yeah, it was great, and it was a great segue for us for travel because we had just decided that we really wanted to branch into the travel niche. We have 4 kids, and there's only one left at home, so we're like, we can
Okay.
start, branching out a little bit
Yeah.
more and traveling, and so that was really exciting for us. And then the icing on the cake, cherry on top, was that. Um, they had a specific adventure in Santa Barbara where we are. So it's like we were able to do like a whole date day together, and create content. And it's like, okay, this is what we want to be doing.
Yes, totally. So you guys are in Santa Barbara.
Yes. Mhm.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, I love Santa Barbara. That's so cool. Have you done any other like local type of UGC, or has it been mostly like filming at home? Was that like the only kind of local content you've gotten?
Yeah, that's so far that's the only local content.
Yeah.
I've been working on like pitching to hotels and, when we go out to restaurants or whatnot, building our portfolio, doing stuff. Um, we actually, our first video was come with us to Santa Barbara kind of video. And Gary has a drone. And so he did kind of like a flyover of me up in the mountains looking over the ocean. And then we just went through some hot spots in Santa Barbara with some fun transitions and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So as far as our travel goes, we're very much in the like building a portfolio and, getting some content. But um, I mean, starting locally is really a great place to start.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I thought the video turned out so well with that with the scratch card thing. How does it like work with you guys? And maybe it's simpler than what I'll suggest, but who handles like the scripting? If you have to do scripts, the videos, like everything, are you just like thrown in there, Gary? Are you helping out with any of the strategy, like editing? What's going on? How does that work?
No, it's all her. Like
Yeah,
it's I'm an extra.
yeah, yeah,
You know, I'm a prop. It's
yeah.
what I just
I love it. No, that's great. So you had experience, Michelle, like with editing and stuff like that. I know you mentioned it a little bit, but was your background in doing, VA stuff and were you doing Amazon like gifted collabs? Is that kind of what you were doing?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, like I wasn't in their Amazon program or anything. I
Okay.
was just getting like gigs off of Facebook groups.
Oh, okay, okay,
Mhm.
gotcha. So was it easy for you to jump into UGC, like knowing how to edit? Like what has been kind of your process? Do you feel like you've kind of leaped like into more being able to edit better, or how's that looked for you?
Um, Definitely I've learned how to edit a lot better. I just, once I knew I wanted to start doing UGC, I just started looking for creators and that were more my vibe or I like their style. And I just, when I have my mind on something, I just jump like 110% in.
Yeah.
So, like, I would totally recommend that to newbies too. Like, go on your Instagram and search UGC creators and just start looking at their videos and saving them. I mean, I have so many folders on my Instagram, transitions and, all the different things. Um, and then I started practicing my editing. YouTube, if I couldn't figure it out, I'd go on YouTube. How do I do this in CapCut? That's what I use. And it's just a continual like learning thing. Someone in the group just suggested a influencer on TikTok that does all these how-tos and transition stuff. So I'm
I
like,
just saw that. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
follow,
Yeah.
because you can't get enough, It's always improving your skills and bringing your best self. And it's scary when you're not super tech savvy and it takes hella long to do anything. But the more you get going, the easier and the quicker it is.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I think there's so many, it's so great that we have literally at like our fingertips access to so much tutorials. Like I always tell people, I obviously have a short video editing lesson in the course, but there's so many tutorials for free on YouTube, on TikTok, even Instagram and everything. So
Mhm.
I love that you take advantage of that. What were you nervous? Because obviously, I really try to demystify the whole UGC thing, and not that it's like super easy to be a UGC creator, but I think so many people stop before they even start
Yeah.
because of the fears that they have. What did you have any fears going into it? Were you like nervous, like even like age wise, or again, like you said, tech savvy, but were there any fears like underlying that were kind of holding you back at all, or what were your thoughts?
So for me, not so much because of my social presence that I had had going. I was a motivational speaker. And
Amazing.
so on my Instagram, like I would just really lay it out there and swear and just be myself and really embrace my authenticity. So going into UGC and being in front of the camera wasn't so much a big deal for me. But I will tell you, like with the whitelisting and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, what if one of my friends sees me like promoting like a female shaver or,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, and I've had a couple of friends that are like, oh my gosh, was this you on Nutrisystem? Yes, it was me on Nutrisystem,
Wow.
and stuff. So, I mean, it's fun, but at the same time, there's kind of that little anxiety, like, um, that judgment. I
Hmm.
guess I absolutely still feel that fear of judgment or,
Hmm.
trying to explain what UGC is. But the bottom line is when we do, people are like, that's so cool. Like you get free stuff, you get to do fun video stuff and
Yeah.
you get paid. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Have you had any negative like feedback? Like even what do your kids think about you guys doing this kind? I'm curious about that. Are they on board with it or they think it's like cool or weird?
Um,
They mostly pretend that it doesn't exist. They,
like a lot of our stuff.
yeah, they sort of, yeah.
They're kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like our younger two boys, like I've asked them to help out, or like our youngest is 16, and I'm like, hey, there's this gig, there's $50 in it for you if you want to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they're pretty open to it. And now they're just like, now they're used to it. But
Yeah.
um, we're Star Wars nerds, so we like do lightsabers in the living rooms and stuff. So they're
Love
just
it.
like.
Yeah. 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 Love it.
Whatever. Our older kids, I think our daughter thinks the whole thing is pretty weird because she's very like private and not,
Okay.
and I said, you should do UGC. She's like, nah, no. And
Yeah.
our oldest son is like, rad, like we got to get a gig with Dr. Squatch. And
Yes.
yeah, that was huge. And he's like, hey, you want to send a gift package up to me? And we're like, well, so
Hey.
so the boys think it's pretty cool, but our
Yeah.
daughter's kind of like, ah.
Yeah, yeah, totally. No, I love hearing that because it's gonna be a mixed bag for especially you guys have four kids, so four different personalities. Okay, oh my gosh, I was so excited when you posted that inside the Facebook group. Was that on X? Like how did you get the Dr. Squatch?
Oh, yeah. How did I get? I'm like, where did they all come from? Yeah, wait, that was a backstage.
Oh, backstage.
And
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that was a backstage one, but they came into my inbox, my email inbox. So they didn't even message me on backstage, just directly. And so we did Squatch, and then immediately following that, we did the Kitsch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kitsch, yeah, yeah, a gig with them. So yeah, they just reached out directly, and I was like, this might be a scam.
Yeah, you
you
always have that
know,
thought of these like major brands.
this might be. I'm like, wait, what? And I opened up the brief and I was like, oh my gosh. And I sent it to Gary. I was like, I think we're getting hired by Dr. Squatch. And he's like, shut the fuck up. And I was like, no, for reals. And then it's so exciting. So yeah, but yeah, it's just wide net
Yeah.
and it's a numbers game and pitch, 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 because you never know what's going to come back to you.
Yes. I want to talk about that. Like where so at the beginning, you said Fiverr and Incense were kind of where you first kind
Yeah,
of launched and got started. Are you
yeah.
still using Incense?
I am. I'm still using incense, even though it's kind of pissing me off a little bit.
Is it? How come?
Yeah, their brands are. I think they can do better due diligence with their brands and how some of the brands treat their creators.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've I've had quite a few ghost me on incense
Oh,
and
wow.
recently. So every once in a while, I'm like, oh, maybe I should go, but then I'm like, oh,
Is
it's a
it worth it?
platform,
Yeah.
and I'm still getting gigs. I just did a Flow app gig with them. So, I mean, they have tons of gifted stuff, but they do have some really good high paying gigs on there too.
Yeah, I kind of have to weed through some of
Yeah.
those. Yeah, that makes sense. And then talk to me about Fiverr. Were
Mhm.
you, before you joined my course, you got on Fiverr before that,
Mhm.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Were you getting gigs?
At that point, I wasn't. I was on for like a month, I think, before I joined your course. So algorithm pickup, and it was about 6 weeks, I think, before all the spam stuff went through, and I got my first gig, and it was for $75. So I was like stoked. And then the second one that came in was a $300 gig, and they also sent me $600 worth of jewelry.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like blown away kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I was like, what? Who, me? But I'm just new and all the things. But yeah. And then it really became that and incense were pretty even as far as income came. And then incense took over for a bit. And now it's pretty, or I'm sorry, Fiverr took over for a bit. Um, right now we're probably mostly Fiverr and X, and
Okay.
Backstage is thrown in there.
Okay, cool. Do you walk me through your process for X? Like, are you on there every day? Do you have a system? Did you do I know Julie has, that guest training
Hmm.
in the course. Did you watch
Yeah.
that and gain some insight for X?
Yeah, absolutely. I watched that, especially as I started getting more into X. I was like, okay, what's she doing, that I can duplicate, kind of thing. Um, I find it super stressful to post on the daily, like
Yeah.
to come up with stuff. And I like have never liked that. Even
Yeah.
trying to plan, it's just been it stresses me out. So I don't. I honestly, my personal brand sucks like on every platform because I don't do that. But I use everything more of an extension of my portfolio. So, really, my only strategy on X right now is searching out hashtags and then just scrolling through, shout outs for, content creators and pitching myself. Um, Michael just had a suggestion about paying attention to the agencies and
Yeah.
and getting on with the agencies and then being able to go directly through them. So I've been like, actually, I was like, oh, that's a good point. So I've been looking out more for that too. But otherwise, it's just like I drop like a little blurb about me or us, depending on what they're looking for. Hey, I'm a 40 something female based in California. This is my style of content. Would love to be a part of your campaign. Portfolio link.
Love it.
And then people reach out, don't even talk to me on X. They just go into my email.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Have you gotten a lot of repeat clients? Are you mostly working with repeat clients? How does your month usually go?
It's probably 50-50
Okay.
at this point. I would love, love, love to have like the consistency of a retainer.
Yeah.
We talk about that a lot, like, oh, that'd be so great to do that. But we do. Probably half of our brands are repeat brands.
Cool. That's
Mhm.
great. That's amazing. It kind of feels like a retainer sometimes because
Yeah.
they come back, but you just don't know. So yeah,
Yes, I
totally.
know.
Yeah, it's like a question mark. So I totally
Yeah,
get that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you so you talked a little bit, well, okay, I want to stay on this subject. Fiverr X, and then you mentioned Backstage. Do you pay for Backstage being on there?
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth it? Because a lot of people have that question. Like, are you getting some gigs? Has it basically paid for itself?
It absolutely has paid for itself. Like my first gig, it paid for itself.
Cool.
But like you just with everything else, like all of those apps, you have to stick with it, like the pitching. And I
Hmm.
have filtered searches, and I just go through. But I think I watch like how many I I have sent out pitches and I think I had sent out about 78 pitches before I landed a gig.
Wow.
So just like it's no joke, it's a numbers game and
Yes.
it's discouraging and you want to be in it, but you just it takes time.
It totally does. And I think a lot of, and especially you maybe have had that experience because you've done like freelance stuff, but I think a lot of people don't realize that getting into it. Like that was the same story for me, like just cold pitching like 50 plus brands before
Hmm.
anybody ever said yes to me, right? So I think people don't realize that. And I think you, just like so many of the other students that I've interviewed, common thread is like that mindset of it is a numbers game. People are going to say no, and that's okay. A lot of people are so terrified of getting a no or no response. Walk me through, like, I mean, how do you stay motivated? Like, obviously, you said you're a motivational speaker and everything, and how, like, from somebody who is kind of scared or doesn't quite get that piece of the puzzle, what's your advice, like, keeping the momentum going and staying positive?
Hmm. I would say to like if you need to take a break and like step away from the pitching, cool, but put that energy into something else. Put that into learning a new skill, something that excites you, because it is super easy to be pitching and pitching and you're so excited at first and then like the new shiny stuff kind of fades away. So you need to find the shiny again. So, or find where that shiny is in UGC. So maybe cut back on the pitching and be like, okay, I'm only going to send out 10 today, but I'm going to do this tutorial and I'm going to learn how to do this really cool transition or this, thing. So find what is going to keep you excited and motivated about learning and being in UGC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that advice because you can get like stagnant, especially if you're like,
Hmm.
oh, nobody's responding, so I'm just gonna like not do anything. But if you're
Yeah.
doing something to create that momentum and keep it going, it helps so much. So I
Yeah.
love that you said that. You're both Gen Xers, correct?
Hmm.
Okay, 48, I think I saw. Are you 48 still, Michelle?
Sure. Yeah, no, I'm 49 and Gary's 48.
Okay, I love it. I love it. That's great. So talk to me about age. You guys know probably I just talk about age all the time, Gen Xers, boomers. What do you think that that has played like a positive role in the kind of gigs you're getting? Do you find that because of your age, certain brands are hiring you? How is that age thing kind of played a factor into everything?
I don't think I've ever once thought about it.
Oh, okay.
Um, it, I mean, it, yeah, it's just, it hasn't been like a subject of interest or anything. Like no one,
Yeah.
as far as I know, no one's ever reached out because of our age group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could say would be like with the libido kind of thing, that
Yeah.
kind of
Because I'm an
falls
old man.
falls under our umbrella. I think that, but um, you know, otherwise, I always pitch like from 35 plus years.
Yeah.
So I go back, you know, I don't really get much of the like the older, like the 50 plus
I'm
stuff.
not surprised. I mean, you guys look very young.
I'm like 35 fits.
Yes, totally. Oh, for
35
sure.
fits. Um, but yeah, as far as the content we've made, Yeah, besides like the taboo like kind of things, it hasn't been too age specific for us, but at the same time, I can see how it's kind of refreshing to see people of an older generation because you see so many of the young influencer type, like don't have a wrinkle on them
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I feel like Gen X and baby boomers, we come across as more authentic because we look like we've lived life a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, and that's why I love it so much. Like I feel even just like seeing there's a lot of people in the group right now doing like the, talking to the camera challenge, like video challenge and stuff. And it's so cool to see so many people just they don't even think they're being natural on camera, but they really are. But I
Mhm.
think that's why I love talking like to, 40 plus, 50 plus, because you guys create that authenticity very like naturally. And so this is like what brands want right now.
Mhm.
And it's that like leaning in, like you said before, leaning into what makes you you and just like showing up as yourself that people want to see, whether they're scrolling and they see an ad or it's like just a reel or whatever. I love that, and I just think it comes more easy to people, as
Yeah.
opposed to like 20 something year olds or like 30 something year olds. So yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I think like our generation too, like we're kind of like the give zero fucks generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it tends that once you get past of like that fear of judgment, then it's like, oh, I can let it all hang out.
Absolutely. Totally. Are you planning on doing more like travel UGC? I think I saw, do you have a travel like Instagram account?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, it's just starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, that would be like
That's the dream.
that's the dream is
Okay.
to, just get paid to travel around the world.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
sure, I can do that. Absolutely.
100%. I
Um,
love that. Are
Yeah,
you,
I
because
mean,
I saw your post. Okay,
yes.
this is what got me so excited and I pulled it up here. You said this was just on October 6th, so like a week ago.
Hmm.
1 year into UGC, my husband and I just got back from a European trip that was 95% funded by UGC income. On our flight over, $1,200 in completed gigs dropped into my account 2 days into our trip. We were contracted and completed $900 worth of content on a free morning, and we got booked for $850 in gigs upon our arrival back home. This is the dream. So that literally is the dream for
It's
so
the
many
dream.
people.
Seriously, we were like, oh my God. We're like, we're doing it. Like
Yeah.
this is what we want. Like we flew to Germany and it's like a 12-hour freaking flight
Yeah.
and we land and I'm like, okay, this just cleared my account. And then, so before leaving, and I would recommend this for anyone, just to keep, like, just because you're going on vacation or whatever doesn't mean it has to stop. Your UGC has to stop. Like there's so much that can keep going. And so these brands that we have been consistently working with, I emailed, texted them all, and I said, hey, I'm going to be unavailable this period of time because we'll be traveling out of the country, you know, see you when we get back or whatever. And then a couple brands were like, hey, would you mind taking our stuff with you if you have room? Because we'd love you to do some film while you're traveling. And so that's how that extra 900 came in. We landed, I'm like, hey, we're here. And they're like, boom, here's, 5 scripts for you to do. And we had our jet lag morning. So we're just like, okay, let's crank it out. And boom, another 900 came over.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah.
That's amazing. How were you like I guess I want to know, was it easy to what kind of brands were they, if you can share, that you got?
They were sexy brands.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, 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 yeah. One was like a testosterone white brand, and another one was was a because that's another really fantastic line in that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other one was for gummies.
Okay,
So yeah,
cool.
and both
That
of them have been repeat brands that we've been working with.
Amazing. No, I think that's such good advice though, because people do think they have to literally stop
Mhm.
taking on UGC, but I've done the same thing where I have actively pitched because we're going on a trip and I'm
Mhm.
like I'm thinking of these brands. I'm like I'm gonna be in Europe. I can, the sh like Kuru Footwear, one of my
Yeah.
longtime clients. It's like I can take your shoes to Europe and show how amazing they are while we're walking
Mhm.
10 miles a day, right? So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, anyone who's listening to this, like it can actually elevate your UGC portfolio and the kind of brand deals you're getting. I love that you kind of took advantage and they took advantage of you guys being
Mhm.
there. What actually, Gary, I would love to hear from you. Like you got kind of lit up about the travel thing. What is your kind of ideal where you see your guys' future in UGC working together, working separately, however that looks? Like, is travel like the main like goal for you that you'd love to see?
Freedom is the main goal,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
Um, and like it, if if she wants to do things on her own, like that's super okay with me. I, but like obviously we're a couple, so we like being involved in each other's lives, and it's part of that support structure. But I mean, like, yeah, if like the world is bigger than your backyard, and it's so easy to fall into like a routine of just what you know. So like for travel UGC, it's sort of like a a two for one thing where you're exposed like forcefully, in a way to to travel outside your known region, your comfort zone, and go explore and like see the world and get paid for it. I mean, who wouldn't want that dream, you
yeah,
know?
totally.
Um, so so is it the main goal? Like, no, not necessarily, because to to limit yourself to one thing limits growth, right?
Yeah,
Um, but if it turned into a major portion of what we do, I would not be mad at that.
yeah, yeah,
Like if we could spend our days exploring the world while simultaneously like making that part of our job, then yeah, like that's an amazing combination to live your life with.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I love it. Yeah, I really think, and I think that I think that's so many people's goals. Like, I mean, for me too, like traveling with our young kids that are really little, and having that kind of expense. Like, we want to make travel a part of our lives, like go on trips all the time whenever we can, but cutting the expense of like the hotel stays, the Airbnb
Yeah.
stays, so that
Absolutely.
it becomes more of a reality.
Yeah.
I think so many people could truly benefit and really truly like change their lives because of that, because this is an option, because most people cannot afford, a $300 per night Airbnb multiple
Mhm.
times per year. So if you cut that cost just with the skills that you're learning as a UGC creator, I think it opens up literally the world for so many people.
Mhm.
And I love that you guys are doing that and like making that, a chunk of your focus with UGC. Um, with that being said, like I've actually seen, which is sad, I've seen several, I guess mostly women who get into UGC that are married and their husbands, partners, whoever, are not supportive of them. And I've seen this more than I would like to have seen, obviously. But I mean, Gary, you're clearly like, it was no questions you were gonna support your wife. So I guess I think the big hang up is they don't think it's a real thing. And they think that it's like, no money is to be made, and that's usually their big concern. So if you're comfortable with it, like speaking on that, Gary, I'd love to hear your perspective just as a supportive, great husband.
Um, Well, like, so Michelle had like a 9 to 5 job that she hated. Um, and when she came to me and was like, I mean, I could just, she didn't even have to come to me. I could just see it. Like she would just come home and just rage. Um, so when she finally was like, look, I don't want to do this anymore, I was like, okay, well then don't. Like, I've always been that kind of person who, like, when anything happens, I say like I'll figure it out. Like, so when she wanted to like pursue her own interests, I didn't know what that meant in any way, shape, or form, but I was like, go forth and spread your wings, you know? Um, and then, there's always a learning curve with anything that you do. So she was doing that, and like, it was good, then bad, then good, then bad, then good, then bad, then good, then bad. But I could see that everything that she was doing was an evolutionary process. Like, I could see that step one led to step two, that led to step three, even though all of that was unintentional.
Yeah.
And then when she started doing UGC in kind, like all of a sudden there were like 70 boxes on the porch every day. Like, and I was like, what is this? And oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and this and this and this. And like, so that's like where my interest was really peaked. Like I was like, oh, free stuff. Like I like free stuff.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like also she was getting paid for things now, and I was like, well, I want in on this, like
He is totally like, I want to quit my job and do UGC. I want
yeah.
to make videos with you all day.
Yeah. I
Um,
love it.
It's more fun.
and so like so it's just a matter of like, even though you don't know what the process is, you trust the process, and you support your spouse, like I'm not going to be like, no, like you have to stay with this job that you hate and be miserable and take it out on me, and like that's not, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So it turns out that she's exceptionally good at what she does, and then she drags me into it, and I've got to say that her smell is, it, here, wipe this on you. I don't want to, but hey, here we go. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate you saying all that. And I think it'll help a lot of people that also maybe haven't even told like their spouse or partner like I want to do this, and maybe it stops them from even starting because they're like, oh, the judgment of my partner. And so I love that you said that, and I think it really is like this cool thing that's, again, so many people still don't know about, or the opportunities. And clearly there's a billion side hustles, like as you guys know,
yeah,
there's
Yeah.
so many
yeah,
ways to make money, and a lot of them feel kind of scammy and like, oh my gosh, is this even a real thing? But I love that you talked about that, and the fact that you are super supportive. I have the same situation. I feel super blessed. So it's always good to have a supportive partner, because then it just allows you to feel good about, like Michelle, like you like
Yeah.
probably feel good about it, and then you're like, okay, you don't have to worry about that aspect, and you can just keep going and do your thing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so happy for you guys. I just have a couple more questions. Like, what what do your, well, first of all, do your days, are you mostly like almost every weekday, weekends? What do your kind of schedules look like for like your UGC business now these days?
Well, I have two part-time jobs that are non-UGC.
Okay.
And then Gary works full-time as well. So, but we have our Wednesdays. Our Wednesdays are our UGC days. So whatever couple content we do, we try and cram it in on
Yeah.
Wednesdays.
Any videos you see of us, that's a Wednesday.
It's a
That's a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay, now I know.
And crossing our fingers we don't have any revisions, but and then we squeak those in here and there where we can. So Wednesdays are for our couple stuff, and then I do my stuff on the weekends,
Mhm.
and that's kind of where we're at. And to be honest, there's definitely times where I'm like, someone's going to have to cut back a work day. So we need like 2 days together to do stuff. And then there's slow periods where it's like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, for example, today we just have this interview with you, and then we're going to go to the gym and just have a low key day. And
Cool.
that's okay. That's like kind of the game of UGC also.
Yeah, yeah, totally. It really is. And I think it's good for people to hear that too. Um, what are the ideal situation, like your dream? I know we talked about travel and everything, but is your goal to be able to quit one or both of those part-time jobs? What is your future like dream?
I was gonna say, I was like, I think like Gary said previously, freedom and like mainly financial freedom, like I think that's the dream for most people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it would be great if we could get to a place where it's like, I want to work because I just need that little extra fulfillment or, whatever. It's like work by choice, not by a need.
That's exactly it. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. Is get to the point of self sustainability, um, but with like have the 9 to 5 be your side hustle.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 That's
Totally.
that's the goal.
I love it. Well, I have zero doubts that you'll be able to do that. You guys are just doing so great, and I love talking to you guys and just hearing more of your story. It's inspiring for me, and just like and for everybody else who's going to be able to, listen to this. I think it's really important to hear your story, and I'm just so happy for you guys, and I'm grateful that you had the time and were willing to share all of this. So thank you again for doing this.
No
Oh,
problem.
thank you for having us.
Of course, of course. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I enjoyed having it. Now, I want to introduce you to two different resources you're able to grab right now. Number one is a free resource. There's been over 63,000 people that have downloaded this free PDF that I created. It's a checklist that'll go over exactly like the steps on what to do to start your own UGC journey, especially if you're new to this or even just want to dip your toes into UGC, find out a little bit more about it, see if it's right for you. Start with this free checklist. I also included a video lesson about how to email companies, which is really important if you're going to start UGC. So that's the first resource you can grab. The second resource is going to be hands down the best way to learn from me, and that is my Ultimate UGC course. I have over 11,000 students as of today inside that course. Not only is it a course where I'm going to visually walk you through exactly what to do to become successful, start making money, start landing UGC deals within the matter of, days, weeks, or months, depending on your timeline and your own personal journey. I actually have built a community that you get to join, a private student Facebook group. There's about 6,600 people in there as of today, and it's not only a place to ask questions, it's a place to be part of a community where others are on their same journey. Some are more experienced, some are, just starting out, maybe like you, but it's a community that's uplifting, supportive, encouraging. I am personally inside that Facebook group almost every single weekday, welcoming people into the community, answering questions, helping and supporting as much as I'm able to. This is the same course that Bianca took, 53 years old, made over $20,000 her first 4 months of doing UGC. Same course that Yvonne is in, 61 years old, and made over $12,000 in her first 2 months of doing UGC full time. The same course that Cheryl, another 61-year-old, is in and is averaging about $5,000 to $7,000 $1,000 every single month with UGC. The same course that Leanne is in, making over $3,700 in the month of September alone, and she's only a few months into her UGC journey. And the same course that Heather is in, she was able to leave her antique selling business, shut it down, and is now doing UGC full-time as a Gen Xer. I'll see you inside the course.